Hey, my video today is this: get past the hype. Get past the hype. What do I mean by this? Well, I was watching a video this morning, and it was a video on domain name. I'm not going to tell you the exact video, but it was, let's just say it was an older video. And there was someone on there, and they're talking about their domain name. They're like, well, this is the best domain name. I love it. Like, it makes me feel good. And listen, I get it. I totally get the way that brands make us feel. Okay, it's brand equity. It's this feeling of loyalty, this feeling of trust that we get when we think of a word, when we think of some of our best brands, right? You think of an Apple, like, what do you feel? Like, you feel, maybe you feel cool. You feel like technology, right? You look at the color. Maybe you think of Microsoft. Maybe it elicits a different feeling, or an Uber elicits a different feeling. But as far as domain names, what happens is that many times domain brokers in the domain industry get stuck in this hype, like, it's all emotional. It's like, well, this is the best domain. I love it. It makes me feel good. But that's not how you're going to sell your domain name, right? $1 million domain names, $100,000 domain names, they're not built on and they're not bought just because, like, you're saying this is the great domain name. It's a great brand. It inspires you. There's a certain logic that goes behind a purchase of a big domain name. Now, I talk a lot in my videos. You can go back and look at my other YouTube videos where I talk about the 7 dimensions: global positioning, industry positioning, branding, marketing, SEO, email security, and the ability to pivot. Okay, those are the 7 dimensions of a domain name. I talk about how category domain names provide leadership, they provide leverage, and they provide the ability to scale. But how do you explain and how do you talk to someone who, listen, they have multiple brands they can go with. They're at this beginning stage of their company, this beginning stage of creating their brand, and they say, well, hey, we can go with this one, or this one. Well, how do you talk to them? You see, some domain names, okay, there's different categories of domain names. There's some domain names that, listen, there's already 10 or 15 different brands that are out there. Maybe there's 2 or 3 different big brands, $1 million brands, companies that have raised and scaled and have like millions of dollars in funding. Okay, different conversation for those people versus someone that's a new startup and maybe they just raised their money. They're saying, listen, like, the brand we went with was what we started out with. But guess what? Like, that's like, we're ready to rebrand. We're ready to pick another new brand. And we're interested in your domain name. Okay, so at this point, like, you have no leverage, really. You know, I mean, you have a great domain name, you have the pricing. And so your leverage comes down to, hey, this is the price that I want, and like, I'm going to, if you want it, you have to pay this price, right? So there's a certain amount of perceived equity, there's a certain amount of desire that goes into like them wanting that brand. Now, listen, I can tell you this, like, it's very, very real. We sell a lot of domain names, and a lot of times it gets across the finish line because they've done their research and they really want that domain name. But don't confuse that desire with just hype. Okay, there's much more that's involved in that. You know, great domain names, I have like a 5-point checklist here that go into, like, what do you do when you're looking at different domains for your brand, right? The first thing is branding. It provides credibility, authenticity, it's aspirational. A great brand has to have all 3 of those qualities. Listen, if it's not aspirational for your market, it's not going to go viral. It's not going to connect, okay? It's not going to be a phenomenal brand. That's why Apple is just a phenomenal brand. It's like Apple, like, has many different meanings, okay? I'm not going to go down too far that route, okay? The bite of the apple, okay? You can read into that any way you want, but you can't argue the fact that they did a phenomenal job creating their brand. From there, it's about leverage. It's about leveraging keywords, industry, the competition. It's about leveraging the momentum and the goodwill that's out there. Okay, it's the wind in the sail behind a keyword. Now you look at a keyword like a quilt, and you look at how many people are searching quilt. Okay, this is momentum. I think there's like hundreds of thousands. I forget what it is, but it's a lot. I mean, it's ridiculous how many people type in like exact match search for quilt.com. Or you look at a bloom.com or a twist.com or a plume.com. And so you're picking a brand that you can leverage. Okay, so what I'm going through here is that there's the 7 dimensions, there's the 3 keys to category-defined domain name, but then it comes down to, like, what are the qualities and characteristics you're looking for when you're trying to pick a to pick a brand and choose between different brands. How do you get beyond the hype? From there, you go to it's brand equity, right? This inevitably comes back to brand equity. It needs to instill trust. It needs to instill loyalty. It needs to instill positioning for your product. Now, at this point, it's important to look at the raw, unfiltered version of your brand versus adding on like a try or a me. Okay, so there's different ways to pre-frame your company, different ways to create that simplicity for your customers to find you. So brand equity, right? Simplicity equals higher rewards. There's a study by Reese and Reese. They talked about a study done by Segal and Gale, and they talk about the billions of dollars that are left on the table because brands have created confusion, and how consumers reward simplicity. Okay, and actually that's my next point. Simplicity is about email marketing and being able to remember your brand. You think, oh, come on, Chris, that's just hype, right? Listen, this is facts. It's reality. I can tell you that we have several domains, some domains that get like 40,000 to 70,000 unique visitors a day. Because the company doesn't own their raw unfiltered version of their brand name. They got like a get or a my or an on in front of it. And they've added keywords, and that confusion, like their customers are going to this other location. And so simplicity, that's like how the ways you can tell simplicity is rewarded. You can tell it by email security. I have founders of companies who email the .com when they're on the .co. Like literally, like this is their company. And yet their venture capitalists, their customers, their suppliers, their employees get it wrong on a daily basis. And this confusion comes with the price. And so simplicity is rewarded, okay? And then it comes down to scarcity. There's a reason why two-letter.coms are worth more than three-letter.coms, or worth more than most one-word.coms, is because it's scarcity, okay? There's only 676 two-letter.coms available, and of those, there's only like 70, maybe 65 that are even available for acquisition. And so it creates scarcity. The scarcity then increases the price. And by default, what happens is that you get a quality of companies and quality of startups that buy two-letter.coms, and that then leads to like the caliber of companies that you're in. So if you look at most two-letter.coms, like Merrill Lynch, ML.com, Goldman Sachs, GS.com, GE, right? TN, Tough and Needle.com, ZS.com, owned by ZS and Associates. The quality and the caliber is much higher because they have elected to create simplicity for their brand, and the simplicity is once again is rewarded. So, anyways, I'm gonna end it there. Listen, but like we got to get behind the hype, okay? You got to get behind the hype to really understand how brands. It's about brand equity. I talk a lot about like how we value and look at valuing a domain name. Okay, the three different pillars. One is what's the raw equity of that keyword? Like how many people are searching for that, and how many people are paying for that keyword. Okay, you can tell that by AdWords. That's the raw equity. Then you look at brand equity. How many brands are out there that call themselves this keyword and have already put like millions, maybe thousands, right? But they put money into creating life to this keyword. And then thirdly, it's the market trends and perceived equity. Those are the three pillars that go into looking at the quality and the value of a domain name. But also why domain names have value, okay, and how you can value a domain name. Okay, I'm gonna end it there. Let's get beyond the hype. Let's talk about and create logical reasons why domain names have value, logical reasons why domain names help companies scale, logical reasons why domain names help with leadership positioning, and also allow companies to leverage the goodwill and the momentum that's out there in the marketplace, goodwill and momentum that maybe their competitors are creating. Powerful stuff, okay? I say domains are about strategy. It's not vanity. It's complete strategy. And owning your domain name is about dominating your competition and creating a brand that's going to last a long time. One last point. Hey, if you haven't already done it, go over to chriszuiker.com. Go to the footer section. Download my book.com strategies. Also go over to mediaoptions.com. It's in the resource tab. And hey, if you found any value in this video, share it up.